Hi, my name is Maria. I'm a final year med student at Cambridge. In the few weeks before our final exams, I went to the World Melanoma Congress in Athens, and I'm going to show you a bit about what we got up to at the conference and exploring Athens in this vlog. Just going to introduce you guys to some of the main players at the start. So these are my friends. This is Nick, this is Tash, this is my housemate Shivika, and this is Luca.
I'm going to give you a quick lowdown of what happened on the flight because it was extra spicy. But anyway, there was a medical emergency. This isn't the first medical emergency I've been on a flight with. There was actually already a doctor on board this time, which was great. So we didn't really have to do much. We just, we turned up, we introduced ourselves. We were like, we're like a month from qualifying. And Nick had his stethoscope. So that actually was pretty useful. And we just gave that to the doctor. And she asked Nick if he brought a stethoscope on like every flight that he went on, which was quite funny. And security did have some questions about the stethoscope. The reason we brought it is because we have our practical exams in like 3 weeks, and we were like, it could be good to do some practice. I got extra leg room, which is something Ryanair has done multiple times now. I don't know if it's because like I'm the person who's like least likely to benefit from this. But like, I'm not complaining. Like, I had so much space. Although when I was like going in to like sit in my seat, the thing is the extra legroom seats are like where you have the emergency exits. And so you have to be over 18, I think, to be able to sit there because there are some extra rules. And what's really jarring is the flight attendant was like, how old are you for health and safety reasons? Before I could sit down there, and I was like, I'm almost 24. Going through security, we saw somebody try to bring a massive rock in for like research reasons, which was quite funny to watch, to be fair. And we also spent like 2.5 hours in Spoons because we were there really early. We didn't actually have any like alcohol to drink. We just like made use of like the infinite glitch with the refills of hot drinks. We're in Athens now and we made it to the Accom. It's actually really nice.
Brioche, my beloved.
Nick was really relieved to find food in the flat. I was really relieved to find these plugs. The flat itself was really nice. It was just good to get there after so much travelling. And then we had to go out and find some food. Nick was so relieved to find the food. I'm going to take you along on the conference with me. This is what I wore, and this is the first of 3 days. This is the entrance as you go in, and luckily there was breakfast food that was there. We went to some talks in the morning, and then we went to have lunch. That was included, and it was actually pretty yummy. Then we looked around a bunch of stalls. There were a lot of body scanners that were there to detect skin cancers. Some of them were whole body scanners, and other ones were at the surface of the skin. Then we saw a talk done by one of our friends. We went to a coffee shop, and then we went back to be there for the drinks reception in the evening, and that was pretty good, and I'm glad we went back. Our friend Nick decided to do the whole body scanning experience. That involves so many different angles, and then after that we were done and we went to Athens in the evening. The second day we went to the conference again, and then we decided to go to Lake Vougliameni. This is what Tash wanted to do, and this is us on the bus on the way there. Honestly, it was absolutely stunning there. So the plan was to go for a swim there, and that's because the water is meant to be really nice and warm. But unfortunately, disaster struck and our plans couldn't go ahead. So we came to the lake, but the lake is closed. Pretty heartbreaking scenes. But we're going to go to the beach now, so let's see. Honestly, I think it's going to be fucking freezing, but let's see. So we went to the beach instead, and I have to say the water was absolutely freezing at the start of April, but they enjoyed it. And then we went to a restaurant to get some snacks, and their toilet was so weird. I was sitting on it, and all of a sudden it started spinning and making sounds. And then we travelled back on the Athens public transport. I have to say, this has been really good, and it's been really efficient and really clean. So I'm just giving you some bits of that as well. We went back towards where our accommodation is, but before that, we stopped to get some ice cream, which was really good. So conference day 3, we went to some more keynote talks, and then we went to see the posters.
There are a few halls of posters. Let me show you.
So there were multiple halls of posters, and they were just in these big lines. This is Shiv battling the realities of having a paper poster. If you're ever wondering whether to get a paper or cloth one, paper is so hard to take off. This is lunch, and it was delicious. So really glad we were there for that. We did a little bit more exploring, and then we were off, done with the conference and ready to explore more of Athens.
And that's the end of the conference. It's been real mega on.
Bye, Megaron.
Conference is done now, for time for some tourism. So we headed off towards the public transport to get to the Acropolis. And on the way there, at the metro station, there was this Autism Awareness Day display with golden retrievers and Labradors. And it was really, really cute. And there were baby ones. And it was honestly such a highlight. There was a VR experience as well for the awareness project. And then we saw some churches in the city centre. And then we headed off to see the Parthenon. And the view is amazing. There was a small village with these tiny steps, which was really good fun.
Oh, girl bad.
Whoa.
If you're an EU student, you get a free ticket. It's pretty good shit.
Otherwise, the ticket costs €30, so if you can get a discount, make sure that you do. There was a super cute cat that we saw when we were going in, and then we were exploring all of the ruins there, and the views were absolutely breathtaking. The last statue here, turns out, is in the British Museum because it was stolen. Here are a few of my favourite shots of us there. And then after that, we explored Athens. We went to a rooftop bar, got some souvenirs. So I got a t-shirt printed while I waited. And this was really nice. I think it made for a good gift. And then we went out for dinner, which was such good value for money, especially the alcohol. And then we decided to get desserts. These were amazing. If you're in Greece, make sure you go and try these.
So we've woken up pretty early and we're going to see the Olympic Stadium, which is going to be so cool.
So this is the Panathenaic Stadium in Athens. It cost me €5 to get in as a student. And if you go there before 9 a.m, you actually get to run around the stadium, which is a really cool experience to have. So it was built in about 330 BC, and it's the only stadium in the world that's made completely of marble. It also hosted the first modern Olympic Games in the 19th century. And here is Tash winning an Olympic race. There's even a podium.
What's that running?
Olympics. Whoa.
Here it is, complete with the best High School Musical jump I've ever seen. We went through some tunnels where the participants would have come from. And then we went to a cafe. And we finally got the Cafe Freddo everybody had been talking about. It was pretty yummy. We then went to the National Gardens, which are free to visit and are just across from the stadium. The gardens were really nice, and I found that I kept coming back to them in between a bit of tourist shopping on the last day before our flight. There was a surprising number of animals. We saw tortoises. I mean, how cute is this guy?
He's kind of hustling.
He's hustling.
He's got places to be, man.
There were probably hundreds of turtles. And there were even goats as well. That's all. Hope you enjoyed.